Tell me about your vision.
Hi, Harry. Thank you for inviting me on the podcast. And when you say vision, it's one of those elusive words that I come across with my mentees and the people I've worked with. Is that many people are just working towards a goal, and it's often is a material goal or something that they've been told to do. When I work with my mentees, I ask them, "What is your vision?" Actually, I put it slightly different. I ask them what their big dream is. And sadly, most people really cannot articulate what their big dream is. They are really holding themselves back. And the few of them who do tell me about their big dream, often it's limited to the next step. So I find it critically important as I work with folks to take a step back and raising self awareness. And part of self awareness is to really start at the foundation. And it is asking the key question about your why. Why do you do what you do? Why are you in healthcare? Why are you in banking? Why are you in IT? Doesn't make a difference what industry you're in. But really bringing that out of people and developing what I call that 43-second power statement. The 8-second hook, the 30-second body, and then a 5-second closer, in order to be able to represent who they are. Because your vision needs to come from your why itself. And it is people are always perplexed after 3, 4, 5, even maybe 6 or 7 renderings and practice sessions when they finally get to the tip of the spear and they now see their why. All of a sudden, they become much clearer on what their vision for the future is. And often we see that their dreams are expanded beyond what they think they can accomplish in the next role.
So, what is your vision?
So my vision, actually, interesting enough, as I have grown up as an adult, has changed. So my vision early on, and I would say my why, is that as a young man riding my bicycle in Holland, I came across a horrible car accident. And I had an old farmer who was literally dying in my arms, and I did not know what to do. I felt helpless. And right at that moment in time, sitting on that pavement, I had an epiphany that I wanted to be in healthcare. I wanted to never feel like that again. And everything I did from that point forward as a vision, I took steps to becoming a first aid. And it became an EMT, and it became a paramedic, and then a flight paramedic. And that's really how my first vision of what it is the impact I want to have on the world. Of course, because things change around us. I had 3 kids. They all had to, at some point in time, go to college. I have to pay for things. I have a household to maintain. Listen, as an individual healthcare provider, you can only work so many hours and make so many dollars. So my vision shifted from being that one-to-one healthcare provider to becoming that healthcare administrator that could lead people who take care of patients. And that I set out, okay, my vision is to make a difference in how we deliver care, from sick care to well care. So really big vision, right? Big picture wise. And I started taking steps. I got my bachelor's, my master's, my fellowship. I worked my way into a hospital, worked up, my career ladder into all the way into the C-suite. And once I was there, I got to see, and do things that were absolutely amazing, right? That I met my big dream at that point in time. And then I challenged myself, what else do I want to do, especially now that I'm going into, retirement, age, so to speak, 55 and plus. What is it how else do I want to contribute? And that's where my vision shifted to saying, listen, instead of being a leader of a large organization, I wanted to have impact on one-to-one and teams as an executive coach, as a mentor, particularly. And that was on the healthcare side, but that always deep within me, I had a vision of being and owning a flight school. I love helicopters. I love airplanes. So I shifted my vision from what I was doing to what it is that I thought I could do going into the future. And first, you have to kind of sit back and be in that dreamy state. What could that look like? And once I understood what my vision was like, was able to execute to that. So I got my pilot's license, my fixed wing, and now my helicopter, worked on all of my ratings while I continue to build out the business so that it has a foundation that I can provide for my family. I can feel that I can make a real impact on the world. But again, it also fuels the vision of what it is that I would like to build for the future. So one of the things that I've seen, Harry, is that most people just get stuck into this one track. And I always say that the scary part is that, especially in healthcare, 68% of the people are working at or near burnout. That's the scary statistic, right? It's part of the reason why we have such high turnover rates. But even more importantly, only 28% of the people who go to work love what they do. Well, we only have one life to live. We likely have to work for 40 years. So we spend more time at work than we do at home, per se. So we need to go back and really challenge people to raise self-awareness, to really deeply understand their why and start dreaming big. So what else can they do that really hits home? And I use the 4P approach for that. It is really important that we need to have a vision that connects to our purpose and passion at the heart level. And then we need to connect that to the processes and people that we want to work with. And we do have choices, right? Listen, sometimes we got to put food on the table and we just have to do a job and make money. But once you have that, don't stop dreaming. Don't stop visioning to what it is that you want to do and start taking small steps to that. And don't let anybody else around you tell you that you cannot do it. You're too old, you're too young, you're not this, you're not that. Right? We have to make sure that every day you take small steps to that big dream that you have. And of course, listen, it's your vision, right? You don't need to live somebody else's.
Thank you for sharing that. So for you, the mentorship, uh, the Dutch mentor, and the mentorship you do, and then the flight school and the businesses, how does that fit in your vision? How did you get on the path of uh, being the mentor, and why is that the center of everything that you do, and everything that you portray, even the shirt that you're wearing?
Yeah, it is a great question, right? So I just to go back 2 steps. Initially, I had the vision I wanted to be the best one-to-one healthcare provider in the field that I loved, which was emergency services. And then I made a decision that I wanted to be a healthcare leader and set a vision for well care rather than sick care. And at that point in time, I identified along my path that there are lots of great people who go from doing things to leading, but they fall into that valley of despair where they don't really know how to lead and they continue to do, and they don't find the fun in leadership. But I identified and that made that my new vision is that if I can bring in the value of mentorship, right? Working with somebody who has been there, done that with deep personal experiences, not a coach who's going to tell you or a coach who's going to listen. No, a mentor, somebody who you can work with on a daily or weekly basis for an extended period of time, who can bring other people's visions to a reality. Right. So my reality is today that I had a vision to become a great mentor and build a small company into a mid-sized company. And I'm on my way to doing that. I had a vision to be able to do my hobby and pay it forward as a flight instructor and then a flight school. Now, both those two things, I just finished up my flight instructor licenses. Now it is to envision on how I want to open up a flight school in the next couple of years and then be able to work that in a way that I can graduate new aviators who are going to make a difference in the world. So for me as a mentor, it is about making a difference on a one-to-one basis or on a team basis that helps drive performance. Now in healthcare, it's if I do work with middle managers, if I work with executives, or I work with doctors and nurses, if they are happier doing what they're doing, hey, that goes right back to my first vision. They will be better healthcare providers to the patients. And so that's how I continue to have my values in place, my vision of creating a better world where we teach and pay it forward. And I get, a lot of energy from that.
Thank you for being here today. I'm really happy that you tuned in to Vision Pros Live. I'm looking forward to seeing your reactions as these episodes continue to move forward. This is going to get more and more fun. We'll have more and more engagement as well. We'll invite people to participate in the show. And thank you for giving us your time and attention. Have an excellent time building out your vision and becoming a Vision Pro yourself.